Welcome everybody to the Horror and Gore Horror Movie Podcast. Of course, it's your host Dakota. I am always joined by my friend and co-host Lyndsey. Lyndsey, what's up? How you doing?
Hi, Dakota. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So for the topic today, I'm just going to tell you guys before we get into the other stuff, we're going to be talking about the Blackwell Ghost series. But before we do that, Lyndsey, what have you watched or crocheted this week?
Well, in crochet news, I have a big shop update happening this Friday. What's that date? The 21st, I believe.
Yes,
Um,
21st.
I have all new characters coming, horror movie plushies, my big 18-inch creepy cuddlers. Um, some of them you can see beside me if you're watching on YouTube. Some I will be teasing all week, so be looking forward to that. This is my biggest shop update since July. So this is a lot of blood, sweat, and tears have gone into all of this, and I'm super excited to share everything with all of you finally. So if you aren't already following me on Instagram, TikTok, and Etsy, please go do that. We have all of that linked below, of course. Um, Other than the crochet news, I watched a lot of movies this week. Um, I'm gonna keep it real. I didn't watch any that were on my list to watch, but I
You
watched a
watched
lot
one?
of. I did.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched the Black Phone. Yes, I watched the Black Phone. And that was on my list, and I loved it. Um, but yeah, all week on the lives or just like hanging out with our friends, I just went with the vibes. And like one night, I asked Ian what to watch, and he gave me a couple movies to watch. I watched them. Like I just did that all week. I watched Studio 666, which I love the Foo Fighters and Dave Grohl, so I enjoyed that a lot. It was cool to see Taylor Hawkins. Um, I watched Eden Lake finally. That's something that's been on my list to watch for months, and I just needed to be in the right mindset. And I waited for the right mindset, and I it absolutely broke me, but I loved it. So I'm glad I waited, and so yeah, that was a good one. What else did I watch? I can't pull up my list, Dakota.
You can't. Okay, I can't. I got you.
Okay.
Let me.
I know I
I'll go.
watched a lot. Oh, I watched House of a Thousand Corpses last night. Loved that. I haven't broken the news to Ian yet, so I'm excited to do that.
So I'm gonna go from because we recorded our last podcast on the 10th. So I'm just gonna go through you guys. Um, she watched The Burning.
The Burning, yes. I enjoyed that. That was fun.
You watched Strange Things About the Johnsons.
I sure did. Me and Chef watched that on live with Colby, and that was a strange time, let me tell you. 1 star. Go on.
Oh, you watched Totally Killer? Hell yeah!
Yeah, I watched Holy Killer. That was a really fun movie. I
I,
liked that a lot.
I really liked it. Then we watched Shrek 2 and the third. Shrek 3, I guess
I,
that's from Goobs.
oh, I have to shout out our friend Goobs. We love you, first of all. Um, I told Goobs that that Shrek 2 was one of my like desert island movies. And that poor man went into this movie thinking that this was one of my favorite movies. And in actuality, it's my least favorite of the Shrek sequels. So, I rewatched them, and so I already apologized to him via message, but I want to apologize to you in front of the world, Goobs. Shrek 2 is kind of garbage, and Shrek 3 is where it's at. So go on.
Hey, hold up! You just said Shrek 2 is garbage.
It's not okay. I love it because it's a part of it. I love these characters, but it's the worst of the sequels. The parents are horrible. Human Shrek kind of sucks. Like it's not. I'm sorry, Dakota.
Oh my god!
Dakota's gonna break up with me, you guys.
Hey Siri, how do you kick a co-host off a podcast?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, no one is a bigger Shrek girl than me. Like I would marry Shrek if I could. If he were a real life man, sign me up. But uh, yeah, but Shrek 2, not good. Anyway, I watched the rest of, I rewatched all of the Shreks.
Except for number 4, it looks like.
Oh, yeah, because me, I always get bored by that point. Moved on.
Ooh, you watched it. You watched Sinister. I'm looking at your rating right now. I can't believe this.
What did I rate it?
You rated 3 stars.
Okay, I
I
stand
need
by
your
that.
explanation on this one. I need
Okay,
your explanation.
three stars for me. That's a solid movie that I enjoyed. It's not something I'm gonna rewatch, which would be a 5-star movie for me. 5 stars means like that's a movie I can put on when I am bored or whatever. Um, 4 stars for me means it was an amazing movie, but I'll probably never put it on repeat. So like it was a good solid movie, but I'll probably not watch it again unless someone's like, "Do you want to watch this with me?" That's a 3-star movie.
So, my biggest question I was going to ask you: how do you feel about Buggle?
What do you mean?
Buggle, like the character Buggle. Like, how do you feel about his character? Like, the biggest question: could you sleep after watching that movie?
Yeah, I slept.
Holy crap!
Holy
This this
crap.
this movie
I'm a
scares the crap out of
traumatized
me.
woman, Dakota.
Okay, how did you feel that jump scare at the very end? That's my biggest question for you. Were you like anticipating that jump scare?
Yeah. I mean, I I think this is where I kind of suck at reviewing movies because like I my anxiety is always on a scale from 1 to 10, I'm at a 17 constantly. So, yes, I'm always anticipating something. So like jump scares don't get me a lot. That's why when I'm scrolling through and trying to find a movie and I'm like, "Guys, I want something that scares the shit out of me." Like I that's hard to do. It's hard to scare me in real life. Like when people jump out and try to like get you to scream, like I don't do that. I just like plain face like moving along. So, I'm weird.
Okay, Colby, you hear that? We got breaker somehow. We got just like jump scare her,
I
scares
mean, but at the same
me,
time,
Ian, and Colby. That's our accomplishment now.
I'm terrified of everything. I have crippling anxiety that it keeps me from doing a lot of normal real life stuff, but like it's just hard to scare me.
Okay. Oh, your last watch of the week,
Yeah.
Dawn of the Dead. Zack
Yeah, we
Snyder's
watched Dawn
Dawn
of
of
the
the Dead.
Dead in the Discord, which was your
Yeah.
first
By the
watch.
way, yes. By the way, we're gonna be hosting Discord parties. We're gonna be doing it every Saturday. I'm going to move it to about 11 o'clock now, Eastern Standard Time,
Yeah,
because
it,
I
it helped when we
what
moved
do you,
it a little later.
and plus I got some stuff I got to do now on Saturday, so gonna be pushing the watch parties a little bit back. Um, go over to Ian and Kobe's Discord. Um, I might link that down below also. Go join the Discord. I'm gonna be putting a poll in there of what movie we're gonna watch this weekend there, which I got some pretty good choices. But with that being said, let's go into what I have watched this week, which I have watched a lot of movies too this week. So starting from our last podcast episode, I watched Snowpiercer, Bon Joon-ho, first ever movie by him. Really enjoyed that. Then I watched Captain America: Brave New World. I'm the one of the very few people that actually love this movie. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I that's all I'm gonna say. I think you guys should go see this movie and form your own opinion on it. Then, like Lindsay said, we had the watch party disc. We have watch party in the Discord the other night, and we watched Dawn of the Dead, Zack Snyder's. I never rewatch it again to get like a full rating system on that, but I enjoyed what I saw.
We were
Then
talking a
I
lot. Right?
then I went yesterday. I went on a movie binge. I went on and watched every Blackwell Ghost 1 through 8 in one day, which that
You
was
took
my
a
plan the
deep
whole entire
dive.
time, and I really enjoyed it. But we will get more into that later in the episode. But then I rewatched Companion because we're released on digital today.
I almost watched that today, but I didn't. I still need to.
Me and mom watched it. She gave it 4 out of 5. She enjoyed it. She didn't watch none of the trailers, so everything
So she went
she
into it
was
blind.
surprised by. Yes, she went to it blind.
That's how I will be. I know nothing about it other than you love it.
Oh, okay. I'm I'm Companion's gonna be in the Discord voting thing. I might override and just it's gonna be Companion that we're gonna watch so I can see
Lindsay
Lindsay's
needs to
reaction.
watch this.
Yeah, because I think not only me, but I bet you Kobe and all of them would love to see your reaction to most of the stuff that we actually knew about going to the movie.
Mm. That seems
But
to be the theme. You guys liking to watch my reactions.
your reactions are priceless, though. That are you were in Chef's reactions. But now let's get into movie news for this week. We got
Movie.
so
That
I'm cutting
wasn't as
short.
good.
So I'm cutting short a little bit on the movie news this week because where our main topic is so big. But for our first piece of movie news, Cineverse and Blade Discussing have got the rights for Wolf Creek Legacy, which is Wolf Creek 3, and it's being released now in theaters fall of next year, 2026. So I haven't seen the first two. I'm definitely going to try to watch those sometime. But Lindsay, have you seen the first two?
I have not.
So I know this is about a serial killer named Mick Taylor in like
Hmm.
Australia.
Oh wait,
And of course,
Wolf Creek.
yeah.
I just started it last night, but I haven't finished it. So I'm getting there.
What's your thoughts so far in the first one? Or
Uh,
what you watched?
it may have been a couple nights ago. I'm really interested in it, but I was trying to crochet at the same time, and it's one that I'm going to have to like not be doing a project while I'm watching it. So I just put it off for like maybe tonight after we're done recording. So yes,
Okay.
I'm interested in it, but go on.
Then I'm really excited for it. I haven't seen it. I'm definitely gonna watch the first two. But our second piece of news is that Godzilla Minus One is finally getting a sequel. Which Lindsay, have you seen Godzilla Minus One?
I have not.
Oh,
Haven't
it's
seen
really
it.
good. It's on Netflix. Of course it's subbed, so you will have to read it. So it's probably something that you will have to sit down and watch and not crochet during it.
Right. Those are hard for me.
I love this movie. I'm glad it's getting a sequel. It was the first ever Godzilla movie to win an Oscar.
Ooh.
So I'm really excited for that. This is getting a sequel. Then a little bit of video game news. A new Five Nights at Freddy's game called Friday Night Secret of the Mimic is releasing on June 13th of this year. So I haven't not played any of the FNAF games. Have you?
I have not, but if any of you are interested in any Freddy plushies, please hit me up because I can make them.
Okay. I think I'm actually going to start. I think if that comes out, I'm going to start streaming that one because I'm going to try to get more game content on my channel. But that's it for this week's movie news, guys. So let's talk about our main topic, which is the Blackwell Ghost series. So this is a mockumentary, I think, style movie. This is directed and starred Turner Clay. Um, he's a aspiring filmmaker that likes to make zombie movies, but one day he has like a hunch of like he just wants to make a ghost documentary. And kind of like the premise of like the first one, like before we get into the whole thing, is that he finds a house in Pennsylvania, I think it is, and he hears that this house is haunted. This guy that owns this house, his parents bought back in the 50s, so he's been living there all his life. And we start to see some because how Turner sees this house is he sees a clip on somebody sends him a clip of a lamp turns on, turns off, then apparition walks across. Then that intrigues him because he wants to know if this is fake or not. So he goes there, um, goes around a little bit. Then he's like, "Nah, I'm not. I don't feel anything." Goes back home. then the guy calls him and is like, "Oh, I'm gonna be out of town for a couple of days. Do you want to come house sit for me, you and your wife?" We and they said yes, and this is when shit starts to go down. And this movie terrified me actually.
I loved this movie. I watched this movie years ago. Um, my ex, I was traveling and my ex watched it and he actually thought it was like a real documentary. And he's like, "I watched this documentary, like you need to watch it." So we rewatched it together and I mean, I knew right away that it was not a real documentary, but uh really really loved it. But I never knew like there were movies after that. So years later with you guys like got reintroduced to it and um yeah, it gave real creepy vibes from the beginning and you love Turner Clay from the beginning. He's your brother, he's your neighbor, he's your buddy. Like you want to listen to what he has to say and it just feels like your friend is sending you these videos of him checking out this creepy house with his wife.
But guys, we're going deep dive into spoilers for the whole series right now. So if you
Yes.
guys haven't watched these, the first one's available on Prime Video or Tubi. You can watch either one. You can pay for a subscription for Prime Video. Of course, watch it free with ads on Tubi. But then 2 through 8, so there's 8 of these in the series.
Yes.
They're all you will all have to rent them, and I'm going to say if you're worried about like losing like 20 to 30 bucks, the 20 or 30 bucks will be in your favor. You will love all these little
You'll be sucked
movies.
in. I'll say that. You'll be sucked in.
Yeah, but no, okay. So I thought this was too real too. So Prime Video and Amazon's like being mean. So on the thing is this horror documentary. It's this documentary. I'm like,
Yeah,
because a lot of
Dakota also thought these were real. I get it. The first one for sure felt very this could be a real documentary. But it
no,
also was obvious to me. I don't know.
no, I thought it started to go in off the rails a little bit once you
The
get number
kitchen
seven.
stuff.
No, once you
Oh,
get to number 7, and the cameras start to change, starts more looking like a movie.
yeah, the lighting, it was all like professional.
Yeah, then I'm like, oh shit, I think this is not real, but I'm wondering. I was thinking like,
I can't believe you thought
no,
for
no, no,
that
no,
long.
no. To be honest with you, I was thinking, I'm like, is the first couple of these actually real? Then they're like, oh yeah, let's just make more money and let's just start playing like throwing stuff in here now.
Oh, Dakota.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Um, which one do you want to start off with? Do you want to start off the first one, or do you want to? I really want to talk about 4.
Well, we can't just jump to four. I mean, if we're gonna talk about this, we should talk about it, right?
Okay. What's your okay? You said this is your favorite because I've looked at the ratings and I don't
Number
like this
one,
one as much as
are we talking about number one or number four?
number 1. I
Okay,
don't like that as much as you.
number one
So
for me, I think is the only standalone movie. The only one that you can watch just the one of would be the first one. You could watch the first one and you'd be like, okay, that was a cool ghost documentary. Cool. Like this guy and his wife, they go to this haunted house and they have some experiences and like creepy ending. Woo, like cool movie. So good I watched it again years later. The rest of them, number two, nothing happened for me. I didn't like it. And I was like, oh crap, I signed up to watch the rest of these movies. What have I done? So I mean I wrote this big summary, but like I'm just that's the short summary of it is I was not thrilled. Nothing happened. Number three, more stuff started to happen. Number four, I felt like was same, just kind of regurgitation. I mean,
okay, 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 okay.
I feel like you
Let me
should
get
lead this because like I was kind of bored throughout a lot of this.
let me lead with this. Number 2 I thought was way better than number 1. It's the and it's the aspects of it's the creepiness going back. Like the
Okay.
first one, like at the very okay, the one that really made me creepy at the very end is when he's looking through the footage and he finalizes it after the ball, like finding on top of the storm, like the well, is the ghost in the background before the credits hit.
I just feel like the second movie was a lot of build up for nothing to happen. Like, and maybe this goes back to like it's just hard to scare me, but I felt like I was like, okay, like I'm anxious, like blah blah, blah. And then he's just like, nothing would happen.
For me, okay, so what really got me is the music. I hate creepy old music, and every time that little thing came on, I'm like, nah. And it's the chandelier. Two times with the chandelier swaying back and forward.
Yeah. See, I grew up in a house that when I was a teenager, we moved to a house that was over 100 years old. So like I've had creepy experiences like that. I mean, nothing crazy, but like everyone who lived in my house had things move and things, lights go off and on and like cabinet doors open and close. Like all of that was normal to me. So like that I was excited to watch it, but that didn't really scare me. It was just like a lot of movement. Oh, cool. I wanted things to be jumping out. And so I guess I went into this wanting the wrong thing from it. That was my own fault.
So besides that, I think the spot that really hits me number two is when everything's like it's the final commencement of the one door slams shut, the chandeliers shake, the tables flip, the chairs flip, and then the door opens and the TV shuts off,
Yeah, I mean, it
and the
was
couch
very
gets drugs back.
dramatic. I
That's what scared
loved
the
the
crap out of me.
dramatic moments.
There was one part. Okay, I don't know if you remember this when he's showing off the camera and he's walking by and the chairs get pushed out and he goes up to open the camera and he just like doesn't even recognize that the chairs haven't moved. He just sits right in the chair and he starts
Yeah.
opening up thinking, "There, dude, this chair's just moved."
And there was a lot of me like really studying the whole scene, waiting for any little thing to move. Like that's what you do during movies like that, right? And I don't know. I wanted more to be happening. I wanted more creepy little details, and
So I like
we get more of that.
I like the first two. I like the story of Ruth Blackwell, because what her she did was really fucked up.
Yeah,
Um, I kind of like the connection of that somebody knew her and that they were going around this way, but once it started really for me with this series was number three because we go to a new location down in Florida,
yes, it gives it
and
new life
for this one,
or
this
death.
reminds me of a lot of a kind of like true crime, like this
Mhm.
dude he killed 18 girls, and this was back, was it the 70s? So yeah, it was the 70s. So this Clay Turner's interviewing this guy's son, and what really got me is he's like, I remember when I was 7 or 8 years old, and I remember bodies just being hanged up around the house and just laying around the house wrapped in plastic, which really like bothered me a little bit because there's a little kid running around the house
Yeah, it was pretty fucked up.
with dead girls all over the place. And later on, I will mention like some of the friends of the Lightfoots because this is the Lightfoot case in this mockumentary series. Um, Number three, I didn't. Okay, well, the problem with number three, I think he was pushing for like, oh yeah, I get drunk all the time. That's what bothered me the whole entire thing. I felt like he was hunting ghosts and getting drunk, and I'm like, I
Yeah,
can't deal with the all the drinking.
I was. I am 4.5 years sober, so like sometimes in movies when people get drunk like that, it triggers me, and that's just a me thing, not an everybody thing. So that was a little triggering for me in that movie, and I feel like I if anything, that led to me being more uncomfortable during this movie, so it upped the creep factor a little bit. But yeah, I was a little confused going into number 3. I was excited because we were at a new location, so that gave it new life or death. But I was like, okay, how is this still being called the Blackwell Ghost when we are dealing with this new house, new serial killer? Like, what's going on here? I was into it, but and you could like the setting of this, you could like smell this house. Like we're stuck back in time. Florida in the 70s, like the carpet and the cabinets and everything. Like it's its own time capsule creep factor, knowing that all of these terrible things have happened here. But it just looks
True.
like it looks like your grandma's house in Florida that you go to visit in September, you know? Like that
Yeah.
that that was cool, and I was excited about that.
And I think this takes place down in the Florida Everglades. And just the
Okay.
setting, it kind of felt creepy because it's out in the middle of nowhere. It's like 5 to 3 miles, wait, maybe 10 miles out of town. So it's a secluded place. There's all these rental houses with him, with this other rental house. No one's at, so he's by himself in this whole entire area. And okay, what's really it got me in the third one, but it's really the fourth one that started. It's the knocking and the phone calls. The knocking really scared me more than I think the phone calls did.
I think the knocking for me, like I said, that wasn't as scary for me, but I think it definitely upped the discomfort factor for viewing the movie. If you're watching this movie with the lights off and the sound up, like the knocking and it gets to you. It gets under your skin so much to where I felt like I was irritated that it just like wasn't more, but then I realized I was irritated because I was feeling for him. Turner Clay makes you feel like he's your buddy. So like you're feeling for your drunk friend going through this claustrophobic like moment. You're feeling it for him. So yeah, the the creep factor towards the end of 4, I was starting to regret watching them less. Like I was starting to be more into it and excited for what was to come.
And like with him, oh, I think this is the end. Yeah, this is the end of 5, not 4. I just remember because they're kind of like all lying together. Because I'm gonna just go tell you guys from 3 through the rest, we stay at this place. Like it's not like the Blackwell house and it goes away. From 3 to 8, we stay at the Lightfoot house the whole entire time. We probably change locations for different things, but the main priority of the story is the Lightfoot house in these last 6 movies.
But I also want to mention by number 4, he has a pregnant wife and he has like big life things going on, and he's dumping all of his money into making this documentary. And it's causing problems, and so that is also leading to the discomfort as a viewer. You're feeling for your friend and you're feeling like all of these emotions that he's going through on top of being fucking haunted by this house or entity or whatever is happening here. It's a lot. It was heavy.
And for me, for this, because the number 4 is when he gets the phone call and his wife finds out that he's dumped all the money on the documentaries, right?
Yes.
So that's already because I remember you and Colby talked about something sad in the end of 4, and it's the thing of he's not a good father, gonna be a good father. It looks like he's not a good husband, and
That is not the sad thing that Colby and I were referencing.
oh, what's the sad thing that you and Colby
I
were
mean, we're
referencing?
we're in the spoiler portion of
Yeah.
this, so we were referencing when the wife dies.
Oh, okay, that's part 6. Um, I think the phone call made me like it kind of like brought me up because it kind of made me uncomfortable because you're hearing this wife or husband talk, and technically you should not be hearing them talk, and this is when everything goes crazy off the walls. he gets so paranoid. The knocks, it's like the knocks and fall calls get me so paranoid that all of a sudden it's like he's looking at the window and he's terrified, and I'm like, what the fuck is he looking at? Like it's going through my mind. I'm like drilling. Then you see what he's looking at, and I'm literally just stood there like terrified, just myself, like if I was standing right there, just seeing the whole ghostly, like the ghost apparition right there, because I think it's the daughter that he is trying to that because in number 4 he's interviewing with his mother. I think that's the daughter because it kind of looks like in her face if you look close to her face that that's the daughter that is Lightfoot's first victim.
Mm,
And you find out, and by the end of that you find out he finds a little bottle. You know, he does some directions or something. Then he goes and he finds the body not only of the girl but a bottle also. But yeah, because after he followed the first map, no, it wasn't the first map. I remember what it was. It was the cipher because he had the puzzles, like the words, and he
hmm.
made that little keyboard thing, and it
Yeah,
would say the same thing over. And I was thinking this is probably a cipher a little bit because there is no way that there's just gonna be a sporadic things. Then it ciphers out to the exact directions of what it is,
yeah,
which is very smart. Okay, even though it's not good to like do that to people, the way this person did kind of remind me of like the Zodiac killer a little
yeah.
bit,
Hmm.
and it's clever for a serial killer to do this because people will you gotta make you think. Not only us as the viewers, but these people that are trying to solve this case. It makes it harder for them to find your victim. Do you agree with me on that?
Yeah. But then, like that brings us to number 5. We have the newly discovered puzzle, which may lead to new victims. We don't know. Um, his wife was more on board with it because like things were happening, like things had kind of cleared up at home. So like we're moving along with the investigation. Um, he's deputized, so like he has more access to like documents and things like that. But I felt like number 5 was similar to number 2 for me, to where like things were just being regurgitated. Like it was just a lot of repeating what had happened in the movie before. There were maybe some more noises and stuff, but like there wasn't a lot more movement in anything. It was just sort of building up for the next movie.
Okay, well, I think I like this one a pretty good bit because the ones that are lower on my list is 3 and the first one. While this one is also so high and goes forward, not only the ghost stuff, but it's the crime stuff. As like a person who really likes true crime and listen to it, just the whole
Yeah.
thing of all of that mixed with the ghost stuff was very interesting because I thought going through this series, it was just going to be a whole ghost series on its own.
And for that exact reason, that's where it lost me. I love true crime, but I was going into this thinking I'm watching a ghost story. It's called The Blackwell Ghost. I think it's going to be a ghost documentary. And like it, you know, by the end, like we have an intruder in his house. Like we went from I think he's going to be haunted to like there's an actual guy. So that's where I got it was for my ADHD brain, it was just too much going on. Like I wanted one or the other at the time. But with that being said, I think you can get a million cheap found footage movies on Tubi, but like Turner Clay has a passion for this genre, I think. And like you even though not much was happening, like I gladly kept paying the money to watch the next one because like I fucking love this guy so much. Like you want to watch what he's in. You want to watch like what he's doing. So like you said earlier on, like you're not going to regret spending the money on these movies, but like by the end did a lot happen? Not really.
So, do you have anything for number 5 before we get into number 6?
That was my summary of 5.
Okay, so number six takes a whole left turn. So this is about his
Yes.
family. The part is that his wife passes away from a rare cancer 5 months after their son is born, and at this time they have not only they had their daughter, but they have a son also. But it's I was thinking because I knew later on there was going to be a person involved in this, and at the beginning of number six, when that one brings up the keyboard, I thought this is when the person was going to get involved.
Yeah.
But I feel like this draws the back on the crime stuff a lot and pushes more forward to not only a ghost story, like a ghost
Yes.
movie, but like it goes a little bit back to what the Lightfoot house is because there's some details in the movie that are very like you will pick up on,
Yeah.
but it pulls away from the case and goes more like to a family like story, family ghost story kind of.
Yeah. What it felt intimate. We're in his house now. We've met his kids now. We're watching him be a dad. We're watching him be a single dad because he's grieving his wife. Like I all the shit I just talked a minute ago, like I loved number 6. Um I just felt like get those fucking babies out of the house. But yeah, it was I liked the switch up to the feel of this movie.
So how did you? Okay, I was going. What was your reaction when the time for the cause of death was said?
I wasn't I mean, it was creepy. It gave me goosebumps. I liked that tie-in. Um, but it was also, like I was saying a few minutes ago, I also kind of kept feeling like, where are we going with this? What is this movie? Is this a ghost story? Is his wife like, has he always been haunted by this Blackwell ghost? Has he always been tied to this house? Like, how does his wife tied into the time that this other I don't know. It was a lot. It was a lot.
I have a lot of questions with this.
I
One,
had a lot of questions. Yeah.
the woman on the phone crying. Has it been his wife the whole entire time?
That's what
Like,
I mean. Like, how deep are we going? Pretty deep.
or or like he said, are these ghosts telling him, or did he get involved with like something like later on down the road? We don't know now, but later on down the road, he got involved with something more manifestive than just a ghost,
Yeah.
and it caused something bad for his wife, and just like took her out. And it's like we gonna find out later on that it's like why 247 ring means so much to not only like his life, but once he got to the Lightfoot house. But this one, I think this one's the shortest one out of all of them.
Wait, I have a question
Yeah.
before we go any further. Do you have any numbers that follow you throughout your life? Like, is there a
No.
certain number that appears for you a lot? Hmm. Okay. Number 3 is mine.
I haven't picked up on anything. Um, but this is plain and simple. I enjoy this one, but it's not as good. Like I heard the last couple get really good, but out of the last couple, this one's like the one that is like lower on the scale for me
Number 6?
because yeah,
Hmm.
not in
Interesting.
like all of them, but like the new ones, like the final four. Like
Hmm.
if I had to rank them, I think it's this or five on the bottom. It goes that way. But I want to get into number seven.
Okay.
No. Before no, actually, let's go back to number six real quick. There's just something I thought with the ghost stuff. I always thought a ghost from the house followed him there,
That's
but
what
we
I was
find out,
thinking.
later on it's the wife doing the stuff. So I'm wondering, is it the wife, and is there a ghost there also, and it's getting the two tied up with each other?
That's where I was getting lost because I'm thinking, okay, he has the painting from the Blackwell house, right? Like he has art from the Blackwell house. So I'm thinking like spirits attached to that. So now his house is haunted. But now it's his wife's keyboard and it's playing this music that his wife used to play, which I think is fucking precious because if I am ever married and I have a keyboard, I'm going to haunt the shit out of that for my husband. But anyway, like I would do something like that. Like that's cool. I loved that. But I forget what I was saying.
You're good. So what really picked me up for this is the curtains,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because
Like
you know
all
how
of
the
that.
curtains were open,
Mhm.
because they open at his house. I'm like this, and I really want to know what is the ghost in the closet, because there was a ghost in the closet that was looking in the room and darted off when the sun was. Because there's no way the wife darts off. There has to be something. There has to be more story to this later
Yeah,
on
because
in
if
these
it was the
movies.
wife, if it was the wife, she would be looking over her children. She would be just there. It wouldn't be like creeping around like I'm gonna be a ghost mom. Like you would be just a ghost mom, a friendly ghost mom,
That's why I
right?
think That's why I think that this series, even though I don't know when number 9 is supposed to come out, I think this series is not slowing down. I think there's more story, more lore, not only to what I'm about to talk to, we're about to talk to in the next two movies, but I think there's going to be more ghost stuff that ties into this whole entire thing. So number 7, we find out that Turner Clay has a stalker,
This is a
and this
stalker movie, yes.
and th- okay, this stalker reminds me of so much of Paul Dano's Joker in this movie. And have you seen all the Batman yet? Or are you still,
I watched about half of it.
so you know how his Joker is kind of like with cards with the question marks, a little bit mind games.
Hmm.
I feel like this is what this stalker's doing, and we find out later on that the stalker is actually a killer, because how we found this is he takes a girl that's 27 years old in her house. Her name is Susan. So
Susan.
how Turner's connected to this is they find a, which this ties so many themes that I just thought of. It has the Ruth Blackwell's face on it, and it says "Want to play." All I think was when "Want to play" is Saw, John Kramer when he's like "Want to play a game," and it's that Paul Dano esque Riddler you get with the pictures, the questions. You get a lot of that stuff in there, but we find out later on, before I get more stuff, just about the, if you guys wonder about the killer part, is that this killer is like a copycat, sort of. We think at first, because the first victim that this guy's has, his name is Susan, and the first victim of the Lightfoot killer is named Susan also. So Susan ends up dead. She is found in the same spot as Susan from the original Lightfoot case, and this is when they start piecing stuff up together. But at the same time, not only they're trying to solve this case and who this killer is, this guy is playing games with Turner Clay, and he wants him to solve where the rest of these bodies are for the Lightfoot case. Because we find out later on, not only could this dude be a copycat, this dude says he's the original killer, and that his dad was never the killer all along. And that I'm wondering if he killed his dad, wrote the note, and made it look like a suicide, because that's what it was sounding like.
Yeah, I this is where it started to lose me. I was like, this is a stalker movie. Uh, I got bored with it. There was a kidnapping, but it felt like the stakes were never very high and like nothing was really happening. So like, me, I don't have
And
much to say.
then at the end of the movie, you find out that's a 70-year-old man. I'm like, there's no way that it's a 70-year-old man. I'm like,
Yeah,
this dude
like
is too fucking smart, because not only he takes the game cam and takes a picture of Turner Clay walking through the woods, he takes a Polaroid of the girl brutally murdered, and he's just there. I'm like, there's no way that the 70-year-old dude is moving. Like, some 70-year-old dudes move ground great, but the
right,
way
but
this
like
guy is moving, It has to be a young
Really?
dude.
It just seemed far fetched.
But then we find out later on at the end that this dude has been literally. Oh, where is he at? He's been in this dude's house. Yeah, he was in this. He was in Turner's Clay's house, watching him sleep. Like his house, not like his Florida house, like his house back in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, like his family house with his kids. That's what I'm saying. Like, get those fucking babies out of that fucking house.
But then we go to number 8, which is the final part of like what has been released right now. We get more into the case of this guy because, of course, we find out later on that he is not the 70-year-old guy. He is actually the. What we find out is he actually is the stepson, not the stepson, adopted son of Lightfoot. Because at first I'm like, there's no way that Joe Lightfoot, the actual son, is this dude because
No
he's
way.
older. He acts like he's a drunk, and like Turner said, him and Joe, since he bought the Lightfoot house and interviewed him, he's been good friends with Joe. And Joe remembers that the marriage before he was born, that um technically, yeah, it would be Lightfoot's wife at the time. They adopted a son. And we find out later on that this adopted son, because there's a riddle. It says father by law, father by blood. It's like a whole riddle. And when you say father by law, you knew it's an adopted son. So it's this adopted son's doing all this, which one, it's really giving me goosebumps right now, because just the way Turner Clay like explores this stalker, like technically serial killer, if he done these other murders at the time, because I really want to know if he done at what age he was at with these others. I'm like, was he in his like late teens, when he's in the was he in his early 20s? That's what I'm thinking, if it's not his father and actually him, or did he start off this young? Because you got to think these girls were younger, and around the 70s, if a good looking boy was walking around in like his early to late teens, they would not suspect him to do anything.
Right.
But we he shows Turner Clay on like this puzzle. He goes around like with little like these little octagon like wood pieces, and what I was thinking the whole entire time, because the two octagon pieces go through the house and it shows the X, and that's I was thinking X marks the spot, because there's was it 10 other bodies. I thought the 10 bodies were buried in the house the whole entire time, somewhere in the house.
I was thinking X for 10.
Oh, I didn't think of that one either. But we find out later on, because this whole riddle was like where birds lie, and that was the one part also that everybody was having trouble with. Not only him, because he also put the scene in the forum, and the forum guys couldn't even do this except one forum guy. I think his name was Jonathan. Um, he stuck with Turner Clay, and he's the one that saw the forum, because the lighter part of the X forms a triangle, and through the line of the triangle at the bottom comes across the island. And I forgot what the part of Florida is, um, but it comes across and it's the island, and we find out later on that the last 10 girls are buried on the island, which is really creepy to think that nobody saw somebody go out there with 10 bodies. But it's but I want to go back a little bit. I want to talk about the friend of Lightfoot and the son, which his son is older now, and Turner Clay interviews him, and the story of the North Star, because that was start the North Star was at the house, but the North Star actually being the water tower, very interesting. But I just don't get it, because if the son says it's him, why did they see Lightfoot carry everything through the woods like the barrel? Because one of the barrel had the girl, one of the girls in it.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
the
know.
only thing I'm not. I don't know if later on, if we find out that the son did it, and like his father was just taking, like, covering up for him so he would
Taking
not get in
it.
trouble. But do you have anything else about number 8?
Um, number 8 to me felt like a filler film building up to number 9. I feel like nothing new happened, nothing riveting happened. It was just like, hey, you guys, guess what? We're making another one of these. So, like, watch this one till you can watch the next one. But I
It
will.
kind of,
Like I said, I love him and I'll keep giving him my money. So,
I really like this because not only it ties up the Lightfoot case
yeah.
as a whole, it's something new because, like the guy said, is when when I see the word manifesto and it's a serial killer, it bothers me so much because they got a whole damn plan that they want to do, and he said he's not over. So this thing is more. This thing is going to have current crime cases. I think in these next couple of movies, this is not anything unless we find some case that this guy has done. But I'm not shocked if he just not going to copycat everything all over again until they find out because they have found out. They have always thought, and it's piecing more and more together that this guy, if he wants caught, he's going to have to turn himself in because he's just too damn smart for any of them to get caught.
But like I'm left with questions like where's the ghost wife? Like is she coming back? Like are we going to talk to her more? I don't know. Like then the movie they went somewhere where I don't know. I wanted this to be like a haunted family and then it ended up being like an actual stalker serial killer something different. So,
That's how I'm wondering if later on we go to a case of like the. I'm wondering, except for like a case for the guy, if Turner Clay goes on try to do ghost things, right?
yeah.
Because on the Facebook page back in this past April, he was looking for areas in Georgia. So I'm wondering if there's a case down here in the South,
Mhm.
like a haunted place, and this is what's going to happen. I'm not shocked if the guy, unless the guy's down here doing some stuff, and to get for Turner Clay to get his mind off of things, let's find a haunted place around Georgia and that stuff.
The devil went down to Georgia.
That I wish they could go Tennessee so bad. I love him doing ghost stuff, but if he done like the Bell Witch in Tennessee, because technically she's a witch and like a
Mhm.
ghost, that would be cool to intrigue like that stuff into it. Like lore if you're going down south, like the ghost Appalachian lore and all that stuff. That would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool. I'd watch that.
But do you have anything else on this franchise?
Um, just that I love him, and like I said, I will continue to watch them. But I feel like it went um somewhere. If you think about movie 1 to movie 8, how different they are. Like what the story is in number 1, what the story is in number 8, you end up in a completely different place. So if that's your jam, you should watch these. But I mean, if not, you shouldn't.
But let's go right into our next thing. What is we're gonna go through our ranking of the Blackwell Ghost series. So do you have your ranking ready?
I don't. I'm just gonna let it fly.
Okay. So what is your least favorite of this franchise?
Number 2. Number 2, I was ready to just give up on all of it.
So my least favorite is the first one.
What? That's like where everything starts.
It's just these later ones like intrigue me a little bit more.
Okay. So you like where it ended up more than where it started.
Yeah.
You liked where it got going. Okay, that's fair.
What would be your number 7?
I don't know, Dakota. So many of them were like just okay. I only liked 1 and 6. The rest of them were just okay.
So I can go through mine real quick. So for number 7, I got the Blackwell Ghost 3 because I thought that first one, even though we started the Lightfoot House, is too much setup. That's why I didn't like the first one. There was too much setup. You had 30 minutes of setup, then you had like 20 minutes of ghost time. I wanted a full thing.
Yeah,
Then
that's what I was saying all along. I wanted like more ghosts jumping out than just like cabinets moving and lights flickering. That was boring. But at least it was a ghost documentary and it wasn't just like, I don't know. Go on.
then number 6 we got the Blackwell Ghost 2.
Okay.
Then number 5 we got the Blackwell Ghost 6.
Okay.
Number 4 we got Blackwell Ghost 5. Number 3 we got Blackwell Ghost 8. Number 2 we got Blackwell Ghost 4. And the why this is number 2 is that ending. That ending still is stuck in my head. Of now him only see the full ghost apparition, but the face also when he's taking that picture.
Yeah. That was cool. That was when I decided that like I would keep watching them.
Then my number 1 is the Blackwell Ghost 7. It could we get full into this like number 8, like it kind of like you said felt a little bit set up and like more about this stalker, but number 7 is like when we get like full into this, we get an introduction. He shows his creepy side and everything. And that number and the ending is what hit me. When you have an ending that hits me, that's why I think these first two, because the endings have an impact with me of him being in the house and following him the whole entire time. To number 4, having that ghost apparition. Those are the two things that stay with me the whole entire time in the
Yeah.
series. But that is my ranking for the Blackwell Ghost. So before we end the episode, of course, we got to talk about our top 10 movies that we're going to watch this week. So, Lyndsey, you have one off your list. Do
I
you
have one
think
off my list.
could you think of one to substitute it, or do you want me to put one in there for you?
Okay, I'm gonna go buck wild, Buckner, and I'm gonna say I'm wiping my list clean this week because the movies that I have on my list, I want to watch, right? All the Scream movies and Paranormal Activity, correct? Like that's what my list is. I want to watch those, but like when I'm being told what to do, I that's the last thing I want to do. So like I had a lot of fun this last week just asking my friends what to watch and them telling me what to watch. So I'm committing to watching 10 new to me movies this week, picked by all of our friends throughout the week. And I'm going to circle back to those other ones when I can.
Okay. Do you have
Maybe even this week a little bit. I might watch a couple of them.
do you have any off the top of your head that Ian and them have already asked you to watch, or
Well, I know Ian is going to be very proud that I watched House of a Thousand Corpses. So that one's already off the list. But I think there were a couple that.
I know they're going to ask you to watch the two sequels to it. They're definitely going to ask you to do that.
Oh, I saved Blink Twice. I want to watch that. I want to watch uh Oculus.
Actually, hold up, Lindsay.
What?
You guys will get the top 10 list this week. It's gonna be a surprise for you guys. It will be an Instagram post because we gonna get in the chat with Ian and Colby tonight, and they're gonna give you your 10 movies. You gonna ask them if they can give you 10 movies, and
I
I
don't like
want a
being told
surprise
what
for you
to
guys.
do. Don't tell me what
No,
to do.
no, they can like how you've been getting recommendations from them.
Yeah, I know.
Let's
But
do
that's what
that.
I'm saying. It has to be spontaneous though. If you're just like, Lindsay, you have to watch these movies this week, I'll be like,
No,
nah.
do some actually. Just no. Like you ask them for some good recommendations.
I'm just
Let's do
teasing.
that.
Yeah. I
If
think
you
that
want
would
to
be
ask
fun.
them, then that's what's going to happen. We're going to be chatting with Colby and them probably after this. So your the top 10 list will be up this week for Lindsay because she's going to get some good recommendations from Ian and Colby. I know they're going to give some good ones out.
And honestly, Goobs, our friend Goobs, he has been we vibe a lot on our movie taste. So he has been giving me good recommendations. So Goose
Okay,
might be my movie soul brother.
I know we're going to probably chat tonight, but if we don't get a list, if Ian, Colby, Shane, or Goobs are watching, hit Lyndsey up with some recommendations for this week, and I
They
will
always
put,
do. They always do.
put that top 10 list out for this week for you guys as listeners and viewers of the podcast to see. But before we got on, I made a list for myself.
No
I thought some good.
kidding.
Um, it's some recommendations from Colby and them that they have been asking me for to do, but The Invisible Man and the Final Destination 3 still on the list. I'm gonna keep them on the list. I'm also gonna put Final Destination 4 and 5 on the list so we can get through. I can get through the rest of the franchise. I also put The Burning on there because you watched The Burning the other night,
It was good. I liked it.
and
I
then
hearted it.
Mr. Chef watched Hush, Mike Flanagan's movie. So I'm gonna decide to watch Hush. A recommendation from Colby, which is Freaky, which it's a Blumhouse movie also. Both Hush and Freaky are Blumhouse movies. So big Blumhouse fan here. So definitely go and check those off the watch list. But my last three movies where Oz Perkins the Monkey releases this Friday.
I can't
I
wait to
thought,
see the monkey.
I thought, let me go through the rest of his filmography. I've only seen Long Legs, so I'm gonna watch The Black Coat's Daughter, Gretel and Hansel, and I am the I am the pretty thing that lives in the house, which
I've
is the
heard
rest
about
of
this.
his movies. So I'm gonna watch those. I'm gonna be watching those 10 movies before you guys see the episode next week, which we kind of already kind of know what probably the episode is going to be next week after our conversation.
That means
But
next week is the monkey.
yes, okay. Just if you guys don't know, next week is the monkey. We're going to be reviewing the monkey, so stay tuned
I'm
to
so
the
sad I
review
can't
of the
get a
monkey.
popcorn bucket. I don't live
Okay,
close to one.
do you have a Cinemark near you?
I don't think so.
What theaters have near you?
Mine's just like its own generic theater.
Oh, they
I mean,
probably get something.
it's not generic, but it's not like that. They don't get
It's kind of
buckets.
like a little chain theater, not like
Yeah,
a big.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know where you're coming from now. Um, but guys, that is it for this week's episode of the Horror and Gore Horror Movie Podcast. So, guys, if you're watching the video version, hit that like button. Let us comment down below if you guys watched the Blackwell Ghost. What's your guys' thoughts on it? And if you haven't yet, go watch it. Come back and let us know what your thoughts on it. And also hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notification. It will tell you when we post the podcast videos and the shorts because I am really deep diving into the shorts content right now. But also, if you guys want to listen to the audio version, also put it down in the comments the same thing as I said for the video version. What did you think of the Blackwell Ghost? Also, if you guys are new here, hit that follow button, leave a 5-star rating, and hey, if you want to, guys, put down below in the comments. I just saw of this a a not a recommendation, a request. What you guys want from Lyndsey to crochet?
Yes, I was just getting ready to say, please check out my sale that's happening this Friday, in my crochet shop. But yeah, if you have anything that you think in the creepy world that could be plushied, what would it be? Comment. Like you can leave those comments anywhere on any of our social media. Also, I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers on my personal TikTok so I can host our lives. So if you aren't already following me on there, please do that.
Please do it because I'm hosting them on my nights that I work. I need to go to bed. So go follow Lyndsey. I think you need
Yes.
like 300 more, so definitely go
Yeah,
follow her.
I'm at like seven something. So I need like 300 more of you to come hang out with me and be my friend. I'm fun, I
And
promise.
the chats are and the not the chats, the live videos are immaculate. But also
Immaculate.
not only follow our social medias of me and Lyndsey's, but also follow the podcast. We're on Instagram and we're on TikTok also.
Hmm.
But guys, with that being said, I hope you have a great day
Great
or a great
week.
night a great week whenever you guys are listening to this. And I'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Bye.